7, the sum of 11.9 million was paid as accommodation subsidy per night. The distinguished committee may wish to note
just a moment, please. Please go to page 2. I just need you to explain something on page 2.
Okay.
Of that document, on page 2 of the document. Auditor, you have a copy of the document? Okay, on page 2 of the document, is this referring to the same program, the sensitization workshop? Is that the same document? Is that the same program?
Yes.
Retirement of cash advance?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is the same document?
Yes, sir.
All right. So what is the date on these documents?
From what I can see, 7th of May.
Speak to the microphone, ma'am.
7th of May. I can see a signature. 7th of May. I can see another one, 10th of May.
Madam Bauta Abba, you are a lawyer now. Does that answer the question? 7th of May. What does 7th of May mean? 1960?
Oh, 7th of May 21, sir. 7th of May 21, sir. Yes.
7th of May 2021.
Yes, sir.
That's the retirement date on the document.
Yes, sir.
And the expenditure was in what year?
2019. 2019. Honorable Chairman, sir, can you please allow me to double check this particular document and confirm that it's indeed for this particular program? If you grant me that indulgence, I need to confirm, because usually, sir, normally retirements are due by the end of the financial year. At the very least, worst, when we have infractions, they are done early in the following year, 2020. So I'll be surprised that this would be speaking.
Because if you look at the first sentence of that document, said they wish to apply for the retirement of cash advance /0 for 2019. There's nothing to double check. There's nothing to double check. It said 2019, and the sum is 30 million naira sensitization workshop for implementation of section blah blah South geopolitical zone. So this is referencing the same program we're discussing here. And that retirement was done according to this document on the 7th of May 2021.
Yes, sir. I can see that now.
How do we justify that, ma'am?
Well, Honorable Chairman, distinguished members, I think my attention has just been drawn to that now. It would appear the retirement was done well after the program had been concluded.
So please, we'll take note of that, and you yourself, you have mentioned the rules governing retirement of cash advances. So this is a major infraction against the rule on retirement. And then we have said it should provide us with original copies of the receipts from IBOM Golf Resorts, as well as the travel company, so that we can resolve the item 6. And then 7, ma'am. You have a question? Okay. 7.
Yes, sir. So on item 7, as can be seen, we paid for the hotel for each of the participants. So the issue of their grade levels didn't arise. So we paid 15,000 per night for 3 nights. So it wasn't based on what level they were.
So it is the same thing you paid the chief registrar that came, that you paid the, let me see other categories. What page again?
So the accommodation
that you
subsidy,
paid to the controller of immigration.
Sir, it is based on the rate of IBOM Resort Hotel. So sometimes if you are going to use what the officer is entitled to, because they are, sir, if it's a residential program, then what the least you could do is to provide the money for them to stay in the same hotel, not based on their grade level, sir. It's a flat rate so that it covers the amount for the hotel. As I said, this is part of what was budgeted for in the previous year, particularly in relation to this program. And you know that, with due respect, even now, Ibom Hotel is not a hotel that can, the price cannot take the entitlement of an officer even on level 17.
Who paid for the hotel?
We did, sir.
You paid for the hotel?
Yes, sir. So the allowance is an allowance of 15,000 per night for 3 nights for each of the participants, which we make available, so that each of the participants will not have an excuse to go and stay somewhere else.
I'm a little bit confused. Yes. You said you paid for the hotel. Why would they go and stay somewhere else now? What was the purpose of the payment of the 11.960 million? That's it.
Okay, so if you see from pages 16.
Page 16.
Is it 19?
Huh?
I think 19. Page. I apologize. I have the breakdown on page 19, I believe, indicating the various rates of the hotel. So I'm just trying to reconcile that with what I have because of the various categories of rooms in the hotel. So there's a classic room, and then there's other rooms, I think. Accommodation, 40,000. Accommodation subsidy, 15,000.
What is accommodation subsidy if you pay for the hotel?
Page 20, sir. Page 20. Page 20.
Yes, I'm
so
there.
It would have, from what I see, so there was payment for some, and the rest was done as subsidy. So if you see from item 4, participants from the zone, accommodation subsidy at 15,000 for 184 for 3 nights. Then
what is the accommodation subsidy? Since you already said you didn't want them to stay apart, so you put everybody in the same hotel. So
the subsidy is meant to enable them to pay for the hotel that the conference is happening, which is the Ibom Classic Hotel.
Madam, if you are not sure, let your director of finance, he's on oath too, so he can speak.
Yes, sir.
I don't want you to, don't let us.
No, sir. Distinguished chairman, I apologize.
Madam.
I wish it was something that I had.
Just a moment, madam.
Just a moment. You said earlier you paid for accommodation. True or not true?
Yes, I did say that.
So how do you now pay for accommodation subsidy when you pay for accommodation?
Okay, sir. If you check from page 19.
No, I don't want to check. Just answer.
Yes, sir. So there are different categories. So there is staff of the ministry that are going. If you see from 19, sir, so there is 8 directors at 60,000. No director is entitled to 60,000, and they went in 2019. So this is for accommodation for the directors. Then from 3.
I am only looking at this.
Yes, sir.
In the sense that you are trying to justify the 11.9, because in that page 20, you have 11.9, okay, and that is participants from the zone.
Yes, sir. So that
okay?
was.
Wait.
Yes. Okay.
Accommodation subsidy at 15,000 times 184 times 3 nights. That gives you 8.28. Okay, transport subsidy. But my question is, you had earlier claimed that you paid the accommodation. How do you come back to subsidy?
So there are 2 categories of participants normally for our programs.
Have you already indicated to us earlier that there were 2 categories of participants?
So I think it was clear that we have resource persons, and we also have our own staff, that's Federal Ministry of Justice staff, who are going from here to Akwa Ibom. Then there are the people, the target audience.
How
who are
many
the
people participated in this program altogether?
I'm afraid I may not be able to answer that now, but 184 persons were chosen from within the zone to attend the program, sir.
Those,
And
Did
for
all of them
those
attend?
one,
Did all of them attend?
I can't answer
no,
that
I'm coming.
question now,
Just
sir.
with honorable.
But in the documentation,
That's an important question, but I'm coming. 184.
yes, sir.
And the 184 were lodged in Ibom Resort.
So if you see item 4 on page 20, what they have there is accommodation subsidy at 15,000 per night for 184 persons for 3 nights. After that, there's a transport subsidy of 20,000 per participant for 184 persons. So this is what this sum is speaking to. But the intention of all our programs, and including this one, is that it's strictly residential. And usually the subsidy is granted in order to support the ability of each of the participants, target participants, to stay in the hotel that is provided.
So which hotel was provided for this program?
Ibom.
Ibom was provided.
Yes, sir.
And Ibom was paid for by you.
Not 100%, sir. So we pay for halls.
You
We
paid
pay
for-
for meeting venues, the hall, meeting venue, our staff, our resource persons. And with the expectation that when we pay our participants, they should stay on site.
You know, that was different from what you said initially.
I think
madam.
it's the way it came out. I apologize. Distinguished Chair, it may be difficult because I wasn't there at the time, and I'm relying on documentation
Just
provided,
wait.
which may not
If you go
give
to,
a clear.
go to, on that same page, item 3, you talk about other staff from the Federal Ministry of Justice.
Yes, sir.
Are they your own staff?
Yes, sir. FMOJ. Yes, sir.
Okay, so who paid for their accommodation?
FMOJ would pay. Yes, sir.
You.
The
Not say
ministry.
FMOJ, it's you. You
The
are
ministry, me,
the ministry,
yes.
yeah.
Permanent secretary.
Well, I
Make
mean the
the-
ministry, I don't mean you as a person.
Okay.
And
Yes.
then you paid 40,000 naira per person for 13 officers for 3 nights. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That's what the documentation suggests. Yes, sir.
You paid them that money or you paid the hotel that money?
Can I confirm that then? So
Yes.
that if we check from the documentation whether we have the receipt or each of the officers was expected to pay and then provide the receipt. But the application, which is what I have here, seems to suggest that the money was for, should have been paid by the organizers. So I presume that the receipts should tell the story
Okay,
of
well,
what actually happened.
you may need to confirm that. Then,
Yes, please confirm that.
if you also go to page 19, the first item there, accommodation / transport participants, refers to which categories of participants are you referring to?
Perhaps the permanent secretary.
Ma?
Perhaps the permanent secretary, because if you
Don't do
look-
perhaps so.
Yes, sir. Because he will be the only person who would be entitled, for instance, to business class ticket. If you check the item underneath, sir. One for the business class ticket. So if you check the classic king room, is 80,000 for 3 nights. So it's for one person for 3 nights. That's 240,000. Then the air ticket would be business class.
So now to the issue of the rule. Is it proper to pay everyone who attends a program a flat rate when they are public officers who are governed by extant circulars from the head of service on what they are entitled to as DTA upon traveling for any official assignment?
Sir, so
Can the ministry choose to pay, at its own discretion? Yeah.
Sir, I don't think that the intention was to breach the public service rules. The intention was to provide subsidy, bearing in mind the type of accommodation which the participants were expected to stay. For instance, sir, with due respect, the ministry had a retreat in Lagos, and the place where we had the retreat was clearly beyond even the
Madam,
duty to allow.
it's better you always stick to the issue. Just stick to the issue.
Yes, sir. So,
Is it allowed for a ministry or department of government to choose to pay monies to attendees of a conference or a seminar outside of the regulations contained in extant circulars by the head of service of the Federation?
sir, if it is budgeted and the budget is approved for that purpose, yes, sir.
Who will approve? So who approved that kind of budget?
Sir, you
Who
know,
approved the budget that people could be paid at the chief executive discretion?
sir, as I said, this is a program. And when it is a program, different rules govern the program. So there is a proposal for expenditure. I'm sure the Office of the Accountant General can provide, Auditor General, sir, sorry, can provide clarification on this point. When you plan a program, then all the expenditure related thereto, you also plan them in your proposal. And in this case, if you are, unless you are going to have a program in a place where everybody can afford based on their DTA, if it's not possible, then you budget it and then provide for it. The important thing is that you use as budgeted.
That is your own interpretation of the law, the circular, which with due respect is wrong.
Sir, can I ask the Auditor General to help on this so that we may be
it's
well
me
guided?
It's me that can ask him to
Yes,
speak.
sir. No, it's just for guidance, Honorable Chairman. I think it's very important that we take note of this point. Perhaps not being able to cure the past, we can also take lessons for the future. So I think it's a very important question. I'd like to urge the distinguished chairman to help us to clarify. Thank you, sir.
Madam, it's your first time appearing before this particular committee, and I don't want us to, everybody who comes here knows that I try to, especially when women appear, I try to be very, very compassionate. All my colleagues here will bear me witness, but the way you are going, you want us to...
I apologize. I'm really very sorry, sir.
Yes, please.
It was the point
Learn to also listen when we give us the right of audience when we speak, ma'am. Madam, please, I don't want you to... You see, the point that we are making is not something that we need anybody's opinion on, because it's not a matter of opinion. The rules are stated in black and white. They are written. And they are not subject to various interpretations. When a rule says that an officer on a particular grade level is entitled to X, Y, Z sum as DTA, I don't think it is open to an organization of government and of government to say, oh yeah, because where they are going is so and so place, I hereby order that they be paid something different. I don't think so. There's no stretch of interpretation. There's no way you can stretch that interpretation to cover the fact that you paid people various sums of money at your own discretion, as against the rules stipulated in the extant circle of the head of service. That's the point we are making. And that's what the auditor have flagged as a violation here. And you are asking us to tell the auditor to further clarify. The auditor will not come here and go against what they have submitted to Parliament. This is their submission to Parliament. And they have said you are in violation of extant rules and regulations concerning the payment of DTA. So what is there for them to clarify that you are pushing to them again? I don't understand. I don't understand. Yes, please, Honorable.
PAC, like the chairman said, we are not here to, I think we're just here to help you. But at the same time, if there's an issue that you know you can't explain, you just have to say, I'm sorry, like you guys ask them in the court, and we move on to another thing. Otherwise, you keep us here forever. So, in this particular one, you just need to admit and then find a way to remedy it. That's only an advice. since you are seeking for an advice.